I'm Lou. I've got two lovely girls, Lily and Ella, and a lovely husband, Marcus. I've been in Bristol about near 10 and a half years, and I love bright hair. Basically, I went to church from when I was 3 to 13. Used to love it until we hit centre spot, which was studying the Bible, and I was a teenager, so I walked away from that, but I was very involved going that and loved it. Then GCSE, I studied religion. Didn't do it at A-level, but I then went on to university, and as a part of my joint degree, I studied religion there. But I was quite argumentative, and I loved the debate side of it, which took away the sort of faith when you're digging, sort of like that. I've always believed in something. I've just, probably in the past sort of 3-ish years, I've been not admitting to myself, it's more a year and a half, how strongly I'm already there, and sort of giving up my control over the situation, and sort of basically the door was probably open, but I wasn't actually paying attention. I was trying to pretend it wasn't, or there was just a crack under the door, and I've finally given up my control to put my faith in God. Emma Powell at The Noise. I went along and she was doing photography, and it was the first picture after Ella was born, and I got chatting to her in the line because she was taking names, and she said that I should come along on the following Tuesday to Rendezvous. Now, I was actually suffering from quite a bad postnatal depression at the time, and I really didn't want to go, and I sat there, and it's like, she said come Tuesday, so I did. So I went on the website and then read the Rendezvous parenting blurb they have on the back, and it made me feel better. So I came, and for something told me to tell Emma that I only came because she said to come, and I didn't want to leave the house, and she got me into Rendezvous. I got introduced to the people here, to Taste Cafe, and then when Ella turned 3, she and I came along as helpers, and then when Ella went to preschool, I stayed. And I don't think they can get rid of me now. I just feel part of definitely the Rendezvous team, but I'd even say part of Abbey. I don't want to leave them. And last summer I had Abbey withdraw because there's no Taste Cafe or no Rendezvous, so I actually went to church because I needed Abbey. I needed that feeling you get from going to church or from coming here. Well, I went to Alpha last year, and the honest reason I went to Alpha is because I ran out of excuses not to go, and I was given childcare. And I had loads of questions, a silly amount of questions. If I told you about all the questions I've had, be it silly ones like why do we have slugs, to sort of sensible ones, and I can't think of any off the top of my head. But I will continue to have questions. That's part of who I am, and it's part of faith, because you have to carry on questioning things, or questioning what you're doing, or whether you're making the right choices, or whether you're walking the walk, talking the talk, or being the person that you should be. And I really don't make the right choices a lot of the time. But actually through Alpha and through Abbey, I've come to understand that God loves me for who I am, warts and all. It happened long before I'd like to admit it, but I really wanted to take communion, but I was scared to, and I didn't want to take it because everybody else was doing it, and that's what I should do. I kept on passing it along, and it's a couple of weeks in a row, so I really want to do this, I was at church on a Sunday, and I really wanted to do it, but I didn't want to do it by myself. And I went up to Emma again, and she did it with me, and I was shaking, and then the following week after that, it just got all too much, and I got overwhelmed, and I had to leave the service because I can't explain it, but it felt like everything in a good way, but I just couldn't be in this service. Sometimes it's a bit like having a blanket sometimes, and sort of the service we went to recently, like choose life, choose faith over fear, and actually walking in faith makes everything a bit easier. And I know it's not going to fix everything, and I know it's not going to make all the answers, but it's a bit like a big security blanket. And that's, if there's a problem with any of my friends, with my family, with myself, or anything, the first person I turn to is God. And I know that now that I'm not alone, even if things are hard, it's not going to be so hard. Sometimes it's a bit like if you go to the gym, you go there to get fit. You don't get fit before you go to the gym. This is the best place to learn, the best place to come from. And deep down, I really want to do it. If I listened to my head, I probably wouldn't, because I don't think I'm good enough, or I've not been studious enough, or I've sinned too much, or all of those things. But I have recently come to the understanding that God does love me for who I am and welcomes me, and I've been asked, would I follow? And I say yes, and therefore I'm being baptised.